excited. I cannot do this without my wife. She's got to put up with all my whining. Okay? All the complaining, all the things. You hear that? You have no idea. She's right. I want to kind of keep it brief because, you know, I have ADD, so if people start showing me slide after slide, I start looking out the window thinking, is spring here yet? So I want to try to hit the major points, but after I do this, my wife and I are going to go back and forth with the slides. I'm going to introduce to you our leadership team, because as a leader, we're nothing without the people under us. And really the way we look at it is there's no under us, it's us. And if I don't have the help, I can't do all this by myself. It won't work. So I want you to put a name with a face and be able to hear their take on what Code Blue has done for them. Okay? So I'm going to bring to your attention, actually, honey, you do this.
Yeah.
I'm a preacher, I'll go all forever.
You all should have these cards at your plates, okay? And this is going to really describe what Code Blue is and how it all birthed and came about. It's sad, but as it says right here, that the people who birthed this resolved that this would never happen again because it was the death of a man who was trying to get warm. Okay? How many of you are familiar with Code Blue? Wow, wow. And for those of you who aren't, we're going to do a little bit of a presentation to educate you a little bit more. And then you also have the sock hop as well, which is a fundraiser event that's coming up on March 4th.
Okay, so real brief, I'm going to play for you a video that I'm going to show. By the way, I took this picture off of Google, and it has a picture of a man looking like he's homeless, and he says, "I used to be your neighbor." I would be remiss to tell you that there was a time back when the Great Recession happened where my wife and I actually, within that time that a lot of people were losing their jobs, we were both victims of that as well. My wife had worked for J&J Staffing for at least 15 years. Believe it or not, we were living in Mantua, but I was traveling to work down here at Gersheimer. Go figure. Okay? And within a 4-month period of each other, we lost our jobs. And we were at a point where we believed that we were going to be homeless. And here I was, an intern at a church. Boy, you want to talk about testing your faith? Yeah, we don't have time for those stories today. But the bottom line is, we did land safely with my grandfather, who was then 86 years old. Of all places, it was in Millville. And, of course, I'm speaking for myself. I believe God landed it perfectly, exactly where we need to be, to then launch Millville Community Church, and then go into Code Blue. Code Blue was not something that we volunteered for. It wasn't something we came down to champion. I actually reached out to Pastor Rob Weinstein. And Rob is, we call him the godfather of Code Blue. He and Mayor Kelly from Bridgeton and a few others from Salvation Army and different organizations got together and said, you know what, we had a situation where someone tried to climb into one of the Salvation Army drop-ins for warmth and suffocated. And they said, we got to stop this. And Rob's church in Pearl Street, he's got people all around the building that are homeless. They're just hanging out. How do you do that when you walk in as a pastor to your church and you're literally sidestepping people who are homeless? And for those of you who know anything about the Bible, and I promise I'm not preaching to anybody today, okay? But I'm saying that he had a real identity crisis with this. And he's like, we're supposed to be helping them, but yet I'm going in to do something else. And so all this came together for Bridgeton to start Code Blue, then Violent got a hold of it. But Millville, we always end up feeling like the caboose. And I don't know about you guys, but I got a real fire in the belly to change that. You guys with me? I mean, I get really mad because Millville's like the always and. I want us to be number one. I want us to be the ones that are saying, who's behind what Millville's doing? That's my heart and my passion. So, not to be a contest, but I believe that we need to start innovating. We need to start being on the lead. So, enough of the rant. We were approached by a few people that were trying to get Code Blue off the ground, didn't have success, and I'm going to turn it over to my wife to tell you the rest of that story. Go ahead, honey. I will. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell the rest of the story.
Well, what happened was, Millville Code Blue was birthed last January 29th. And it was through a woman named Karis Lasleski who really had a heart and a passion to see Millville get involved in this Code Blue, because Richmond and Vineland were already on board and we weren't. So she came to us, she talked to my husband and I and said, listen, I've done all this research and I don't see it really going anywhere anytime soon. She said, but you know, I want you and your husband to be the project coordinators for this. And we were like, our mouths dropped. We said, where's this coming from? So then, long story short, Renee Breck came in the picture because she had a business on High Street, and somebody left a sleeping bag in the alcove of her door there, and that just started the whole thing. It just lit a fire, you know, to just do everything that we needed to do to get the whole ball rolling, basically, and it did. Within days, Millville Code Blue started. It was awesome.
And with the help of Commissioner Ennis, who opened up his first his Epiphany Center, and then he also opened up his revitalized church in his presence that he burnt down. We used those facilities last year. The month of February, we were nonstop all the way through 7 days a week. It took so much of a toll on a lot of our volunteers. It took a toll on me and my health. It was a lot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play for you a 3-minute video that's actually a commercial for an organization in Canada. We're not affiliated with them. But I want you to see some of the things that people think about the stereotypes of homeless people.